Houston, where the NRA is holding its annual convention just a few hundred miles away from the tragedy in Uvalde, and that's drawing large protests. It comes as the debate over gun control has reopened in Washington, D.C., as members of Congress debate what, if anything, can and should be done to stop this carnage that keeps happening again and again. ABC's Rachel Scott has been pressing for answers. She has this report.
Nearly 300 miles away from the Uvalde massacre, the largest gun rights organization in the nation is gathering.
Hey, hey, NRA! How many kids have you killed today?
Protesters rallying outside the NRA convention in Houston, Texas.
We need to remember who we need to organize against, and that is those people in there.
Why'd you decide to come out?
Because my daughter is a teacher, and she had to learn how to pack bullet wounds in her classroom in order to teach. I'm done having to worry about every single day that she goes to class, and I'm going to get the phone call that she is blown into pieces for trying to protect her children.
I shouldn't go to school and be scared that I could get hurt that day because we can't control our guns. And I shouldn't have to worry about it.
You want to see change?
Yes, I want to see change.
Inside the NRA convention.
I'm honored to be here in the great state of Texas with the wonderful patriots of the NRA.
As former President Donald Trump and Texas Senator Ted Cruz took the stage, attendees told us guns aren't the issue.
Do you think America has a gun problem?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Teresa Wakefield, a gun owner and grandmother of 13, says after Uvalde, lawmakers should reconsider the legal age to buy a gun.
Why should you be able to buy weapons at 18? It's heartbreaking. But guns don't kill people. People kill people. The guns didn't jump in the truck. The guns didn't run to the school. The guns didn't do it. That young boy did.
Back in Washington, the debate over reform is heating up. After nearly 30 years of congressional inaction on gun control, Republican leader Mitch McConnell giving the green light on bipartisan talks, encouraging Texas Senator John Cornyn to work with Democrats to find common ground.
I'm not interested in the same old tired talking points. I'm actually interested in what we can do to make the terrible events that occurred in Uvalde less likely in the future.
Cornyn returning to Washington just back from the tragedy in Uvalde, speaking with Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, his home state of Connecticut, rocked by the Sandy Hook massacre 10 years ago.
How long are you willing to give this in order to reach some type of agreement?
We don't have a lot of time. I mean, there's a sense of urgency in the country. I don't think the American people are going to let us be in conversation for a month. We have a number of areas that we think we can make progress on: background checks, red flag laws, additional support for school security.
Those issues backed by the majority of Americans. 86% back a national red flag law, allowing authorities to temporarily take guns away from people determined to be dangerous. And nearly 90% of Americans support expanded background checks. It's far from clear if Democrats can get the 10 Republican votes needed to pass any gun control legislation. But a small bipartisan group says they're willing to try.
Are there 60 votes for that?
It's a little bit early to try to predict the outcome, but there's clearly a lot of interest.
So we went out on the hunt for answers on Capitol Hill to find out what, if anything, Republicans would support.
Can you assure the American people that this time something will get done?
I can't assure the American people there's any law we can pass to stop this shooting.
Some refuse to take our questions.
Do you support expanded background checks? The majority of Americans support it. Do you support it? After the mass shooting in Texas, will Republicans take action on gun control legislation? The majority of Americans support background checks. Do you support it?
Others said gun reform is a non-starter.
Passing more laws without enforcing what's already on the books would seem somewhat pointless to me.
The majority of Americans support some type of action when it comes to gun reform. Is your party wrong on this? Are you wrong on this?
We need to look at what solutions have worked and haven't worked.
But if the majority of Americans say background checks,
Ma'am, I realize you have a point of view. I've been happy to answer.
It's the point of view of the American people, sir.
When questioned about background checks, Republican Senator Rick Scott ended our interview.
Red flag laws wouldn't take away guns.
Okay, would you like me to finish or are you going to do it? Okay, you do it.
Senate Democrats can change the rules to pass gun reform legislation without Republican support. But moderate Democrats Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are not on board with ending the filibuster.
Senator Sinema, do you support changing the Senate rules in order to pass gun control legislation? 19 children are dead.
Thanks so much.
Can you give us a comment about it?
Here in these halls, David Hogg, also on a mission, a survivor of the 2018 Parkland school shooting, who first spoke out as a 17-year-old.
We're not trying to take your guns. We never have been and we never will.
Today, he's 22 and still fighting for change.
I'm frustrated, outraged, but more than anything, I'm just exhausted because we've done our job. We've done our job right. The mistake that we made after Parkland was that as young people, we assumed that we had a government that even halfway worked.
This week, Democratic leader Chuck Schumer blocked a Republican proposal named after 2 Parkland school shooting victims aimed at addressing school safety.
Hardening schools would do nothing to prevent this shooting.
And Republicans blocked a Democratic bill aimed at targeting domestic terrorism in the wake of the Buffalo shooting.
But this bill would be more accurately called the Democrat plan to brand and insult our police and soldiers as white supremacists and neo-Nazis.
So after 2 mass shootings in just over a week, senators left town for recess, with gun legislation very much up in the air.
Senator Graham, are there enough Republicans to get this passed?
It's certainly not the first door slammed in the face of potential gun reform. Rachel Scott joins me now. Rachel, we heard from some of those NRA members in your piece there. We know that some popular gun reforms like expanded background checks, red flag laws, many Americans support them. Did you find any members of the NRA that supported them too?
Actually, Trevor, we did. Almost every single member of the NRA that we spoke to today did support some type of gun reform, whether it was background checks, some type of red flag law, and even just saying that an 18-year-old should not be able to purchase such a powerful weapon. We're really seeing some of the faces of the poll numbers that we've been talking about. 89% of Americans, the overwhelming majority, supporting some form of background checks. Trevor?
Could be a change in Americans' views, but will it change the politicians' views? Rachel Scott, we appreciate your work. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.